Welcome to APCUG's Wednesday workshops, where we get together in the middle of the week to learn more about technology. Our topic for this workshop is all about Windows, and we are going to go to a two-part or two different topic presentation by our one and only Bill James. Bill doesn't need very much of an introduction because he's here every week, and most of you know him. Most of your groups have had Bill probably doing his presentations. We know he's from the Oklahoma City Computer Club. We also know that he's a real Mustang fan, and he has been our home automation go-to person along with Windows. But Bill has really expanded his efforts, and he's gone out and dabbled in Linux and dabbled in the Mac. But today he's back with us to do Windows. And so he's going to share a little bit of tricks with us and some tips about configuring your storage sense to free up your disk space. And he's going to talk about another level of security for using your Windows PC. So I'm going to turn things over to Bill and welcome him back as a presenter.
And that was Mustang cars, not Mustang horses.
Oh, really?
I just thought I'd clarify that, just in case.
I forgot to look. There he is. I've got to make him a co-host again because he lost his internet. Forgot about that part, Bill.
No problem. Yes, I briefly lost my internet, which was scary.
And you're muted.
I'll share my screen and we'll start out with the first presentation. Today we're going to talk about Microsoft Storage Sense. It's a built-in feature of Windows 10 and 11 that makes it possible for you to manage storage on your PC effectively. To put it in context, Storage Sense is very similar to CCleaner. I'm sure everybody is familiar with that utility software that's used to clean up your temporary files, browser caches, and other unused data to free up disk space and improve system performance. Another popular software product is Gallery Utilities, and it also includes a disk cleaner module to remove temporary files, junk files, broken shortcuts, and unnecessary items to free up your disk space and improve system performance. There's still another one that's called Wise Disk Cleaner, and it's a similar utility program that's used to do the same functions. And the reason why I mentioned that, because I just wanted you to be aware that that these software applications offer similar, Microsoft Storage Sense offers similar functions as well, but these other ones that I mentioned have their own unique features and user interface. So you really should choose the best tool that best suits your needs and preferences. But we're going to really focus on Microsoft Storage Sense. So if you haven't customized Storage Sense, it was configured on installation of your Windows 10 and 11 with default settings. Storage Sense automatically frees up space on your PC by deleting old and unused files from 3 locations: temporary files, recycle bin, and the download folder. And even with Storage Sense, you can even manage your local cloud content associated with your Microsoft OneDrive account. There are many benefits to using Storage Sense. As I said before, it can automatically free up drive space for you by getting rid of items that you don't need, like temporary files and items in your recycle bin. It also works with OneDrive to automatically free up space by making locally available files that you aren't using anymore online only again. It also works on your behalf with very little setup. It can be turned on and can turn itself on when your computer is out of storage space. The default grace period for deleting files from the recycle bin in the downloads folder is 30 days, but you can change it in the storage settings. What even makes storage sense better is that you can set up custom rules to define how you want your files stored or deleted and when they're allowed to be duplicated. What are temporary files and why are they needed and when should they be deleted? Temporary files are created by computer programs for various purposes during their operation. They serve as placeholders for intermediaries and meant to provide temporary storage for data that may be needed later. And here's why temporary files are needed and why they should be deleted. Programs often generate temporary files to store data temporarily while they're being processed. For example, when you open a document in a word processing software, a temporary file may be created to serve your work as you edit it. These files ensure that the program has a safe and accessible space to store temporary data. Another reason temporary files can also be created as backup copies or checkpoints in case something goes wrong during program execution. If an application crashes or encounters an error, these files can be used to recover the previous state and avoid data loss. Temporary files can help optimize performance by reducing the workload on system resources. For example, web browsers use temporary files to cache web pages and images, allowing faster loading times when you revisit a previous access site. To delete temporary files, you can use built-in tools like Microsoft Storage Sense in Windows 10 and 11, or Disk Cleanup in earlier Windows versions, or, as I mentioned earlier, third-party software like CCleaner, Wise Disk Cleaner, or the disk cleaning features provided by system optimization software. Temporary files should be regularly deleted for the following reasons. Temporary files can accumulate over time, consume significant amount of disk space. By deleting unnecessary temporary files, you can free up disk space, which can improve the overall system performance and allow more storage capacity. Another reason is that some temporary files may contain sensitive information, such as login credentials or temporary copies of confidential documents. By deleting these files, you reduce the risk of unauthorized access or data leakage. Another reason is that sometimes programs do not always clean up their temporary files properly, leading to the accumulation of outdated or orphan files. Removing these files ensures that your system remains clutter-free and prevents potential conflicts or errors caused by leftover temporary data. So another question would come up, why would one prefer using Microsoft Storage Sense rather than a third-party disk cleaner like CCleaner? Well, there are many reasons why you might prefer Microsoft Storage Sense over third-party disk cleaners. First, Microsoft Storage Sense is built in Windows 10 and 11, which means it seamlessly integrates with the operating system. It was developed by Microsoft and designed specifically to work well with Windows, ensuring compatibility and stability. And as a native tool, it is less likely to conflict with other system components or cause any compatibility issues. It also, as being part of the Windows operating system, it receives regular updates improvements along with other system updates that ensures the tool remains up to date with the latest features and bug fixes. And if you should encounter any issues or need assistance, you can always rely on the Microsoft's official support channels for help. And it also provides a rather straightforward and user-friendly interface. It offers basic disk cleaning functionality without overwhelming the user with advanced options or complex settings. This simplicity makes it more accessible to users who prefer a hassle-free experience or who may not be familiar with third-party software. So by using Microsoft StorageSense, you minimize the number of third-party applications installed on your system. This reduces potential conflicts, streamlines system management, and helps maintain a cleaner and more organized software environment. Here's a few caveats. It's important to note that third-party disk cleaners like CCleaner and others can offer additional features and customization options that may be appealing to certain users. These tools often provide more advanced cleaning capabilities, such as targeted cleaning of specific file types, registry cleaning, and customizable settings. So if you require these advanced features or have a specific preference, a third-party disk cleaner may be a suitable choice for you. To set up and configure StorageSense in Windows 10, you can set it up with custom rules by going to the storage setting page. And from there, you turn on StorageSense and choose your desired settings. For example, you can set how often you want StorageSense to run and how often it should delete files from the recycle bin and the downloads folder. I'm going to show you some screenshots. This is the screenshot of the StorageSense that's in Windows 10. As you notice, there is a toggle that you turn on, and it will run based on the frequency you choose. So if you want to run it every week, I believe that's the default, but there's a drop-down arrow to the right of that, and you can select the number of days if you want to run more frequently. It also, you can select whether you want your temporary files deleted, and you can select again the number of days that you want those to be left in your recycle bin. Also, while you're there, you will notice that under storage, in Windows 11, it looks like this. You have, you select storage, and then of course you have another toggle switch to turn it on. And you'll notice that below that, it also shows you how space is used on your local disk as well. And there's additional storage settings that you can also choose from the hyperlinks, like view storage usage on other drives, change where new content is saved, manage storage spaces, optimize drives, and also you can view backup options. In Windows 11, it's very similar. And those screenshots, you can see that you have a different interface with Windows 11. Under System, and it shows your local storage. But then down here at the bottom, you will find a toggle to turn on your StorageSense. And I believe I misspoke. The previous screens were all Windows 10. I apologize for that. Also, you can choose the cleanup recommendations. It tells me on this particular computer that I was using, there's over 512 megabytes of storage available, and I can go in and it will give me how that's being used. Sometimes my computer just goes bonkers. Here again, I can choose when to run storage sense every week. I can delete files in my recycle bin. The 30 days is default, but I can shorten or extend that. And I also, if I want to choose whether to delete my files in my download folder, I can choose never do that or set a number of days. And also it tells me StorageSense can free up space by removing unused cloud-based content from your device. Content flagged is always keep on this device will not be affected. I believe Dale explained how to do that, is that you can select whether you want to keep the file on your hard drive or in the cloud. But StorageSense will not touch those if they're marked always keep on this device. Also, content will become online only if not open for more than 1 day. You can select the time period for that. And then, of course, you can run StorageSense on demand by clicking on this button. So there are some differences between the Windows 10 version and the Windows 11. So keep that in mind. So the Windows 10, 11 disk cleanup, you probably have a question about what happened to Microsoft's disk cleanup, and is it the same as the Microsoft StorageSense? Disk cleanup and Microsoft StorageSense are both tools provided by Microsoft to help manage storage space on Windows systems. While they serve similar purposes, there are some differences between the two. Disk cleanup is the traditional utility that has been present in Windows for a long time, whereas StorageSense is a relatively newer feature introduced in Windows 10. Disk cleanup primarily focuses on removing unnecessary files from your computer, temporary files, system files, and old Windows installations, very similar to StorageSense. But the difference between the two is that StorageSense provides a more comprehensive storage management solution by automatically freeing up space on your system. Disk cleanup requires manual initiation and user intervention to select the types of files to clean up and start the cleanup process, while StorageSense can be configured to run automatically and clean up files based on specific criteria, such as when your storage is running low or at regular intervals. StorageSense incorporates more intelligent cleaning capabilities compared to disk cleanup. It can identify, remove additional types of unnecessary files, old downloads, recycle bin, and downloaded files that hadn't been accessed for a specific time or specified time. It also includes integration, as I said earlier, with cloud storage, like OneDrive. It can automatically move infrequently accessed files from your local storage to the cloud, freeing up space on your device while keeping your file accessible. On the other hand, disk cleanup provides a more granular control over types of files you can clean up, allowing you to choose specific categories like temporary files, Windows Update files, and more. StorageSense will offer offers customization options and focus more on the automatic cleanup, and may not provide as much detailed control over individual file types. Again, disk cleanup is older and a more manual, customizable tool that requires user intervention, while storage sense is more automated and an intelligent solution that can proactively manage your storage space based on configurable settings. Storage Sense is also the recommended option for most users on Windows 10 and 11. So, I'm sorry. So here's some product links. Um, my computer keeps jumping around. I apologize for that. The product links is that CCleaner. This is the #1 tool for cleaning your PC, and of course you can get it from ccleaner.com. Glary Utilities is at www.glarysoft.com. Wise Disk Cleaner is from wisecleaner.com, and these are all have both free and paid versions. So if you're curious about how to get disk cleanup, in Windows 10, you can access it through the control panel by typing in the control panel, by typing control panel in the Windows search box. And then you'll want to select the control panel and then select administrative tools and click on disk cleanup. In Windows 11, you can access the tool through the control panel as well by typing control panel in the Windows search box. Select control panel and then select Windows 2 and then select disk cleanup. So this is the Windows 10. After you've gone to the control panel, you want to go to administrative tools. And then when you select administrative tools, you'll get this window, which will take you to the File Explorer, and then you select disk cleanup under control panel, all control panel items, administrative tools. And then once you select it, you'll get this box, and here is where you can choose which files and folders that you want to be cleaned. And then as you check the box, if you look under description, it'll tell you exactly what it's removing and the amount of storage space that you will gain from removing those particular items. In Windows 11, the control panel, you go to Windows Tools, and here you'll come up with disk cleanup, and once you click disk cleanup, you'll then get select the drive you're wanting to clean, and then you receive this box. Again, you can go in and select which files and folders you wish to delete, and it'll tell you the amount of space you're going to free up and what a description of what that folder or file is about. So in summary, Storage Sense is a storage management feature introduced in Windows 10 and available in later versions. It can identify and delete various types of unnecessary files, including temporary files, system files, old Windows installations, and files in the download folder that haven't been accessed for a specified time period. You can configure Storage Sense to run automatically, either when the system is running low on storage space or at a regular interval. This eliminates the need for manual intervention and ensures that storage space is consistently optimized. Storage Sense integrates with the cloud storage services like OneDrive. It can intelligently remove infrequently accessed files from the local storage to the cloud, freeing up space on the device while keeping files accessible. While Storage Sense emphasizes automation, it also provides some customization options. Users can choose specific file types or categories to include or exclude from the cleanup process. Storage Sense simplifies the task of managing storage space on Windows systems by automating the cleanup process and removing unnecessary files. Storage Sense offers a more proactive approach to storage management, ensuring that users have sufficient space on their devices for smooth operations. This cleanup, again, is older and a more manual and customizable tool that requires user intervention. And while Storage Sense is more automated and an intelligent solution that can proactively manage your storage space based on configurable settings. And it's also the recommended options for most users for Windows 10 and 11. So that concludes my presentation on Microsoft Storage Sense. And I really apologize for the jumping around. So I'll stop sharing at this point.
Okay. Does Storage Sense clean browsers like CCleaner does?
It's part of the, it'll only clean like the thumbnails, the temporary files that are left over from browsers if the browser creates a temporary file or folder. I mean, a temporary file, it will clean it. Yes.
And that's on your hard drive.
Yes.
Okay. Is it like defrag?
No, defrag is a separate program. Defrag is used to organize your hard drive to put all your files in a contiguous pattern, because as hard drives are, as you save data to your hard drive, it sticks it in the most at any location, so it will not be contiguous. So you run defrag in order to have a contiguous string of data that's pertaining to that particular program that you're using. There are two different programs. They're both built in. You can access defrag if you want to run it manually by going to the control and typing in the search box. But in most modern operating systems today, defrag runs in the background automatically.
Will Storage Sense manage my Google Drive?
No.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good presentation.
Well, if
I'll know how to use Storage Sense now. If you haven't used it before, maybe you would like to try it. And now on to your next presentation.
Hopefully I won't have this same jumping around. I really I apologize for that. That's not the intent at all. Let me share my screen here. I'm sure this presentation is going to bring a lot of discussion, and I'm open. Another lever of security for your Windows PC, and we're going to talk about admin versus standard user to sign on to your Windows 10 or 11 PC. Microsoft provides two primary types of user account options: Microsoft accounts and local accounts. Each one has its own advantages, and the best choice depends on your user's needs. So a question comes up: is a Microsoft account the same as an administrative account? And that answer is no, it is not the same as an administrative account. These are two distinct concepts in the context of Windows operating system. So if we go by definition, a Microsoft account, formerly known as a Windows Live ID, is an online email-based account that is used to log on and access various Microsoft services such as Windows, Office, Xbox Live, OneDrive, and the Microsoft Store, along with Outlook.com. So when you log on to a Microsoft, when you use a Microsoft account to log in a Windows computer, it can be either an administrative account or a standard account. It depends on the privileges assigned to that specific account. The definition for an administrative account is it is a user account that has been granted administrative privileges. These privileges allow the account holder to make significant changes to the system, install software, configure system settings, and manage other user accounts. An administrative account can also be a local account, i.e. specific to the computer, or linked to a Microsoft account. Local administrative accounts are created and managed directly on the computer, while Microsoft accounts with administrative privileges have these permissions assigned through the Microsoft account. Is a Microsoft local account the same as a standard account? The answer is no. A Microsoft local account is not the same as a standard account, although they share some similarities. So let's clarify the differences between the two concepts. A Microsoft local account is a type of user account that is created and stored directly on a Windows computer or device. It's not tied to an online Microsoft account. It is a standalone account that exists only on a single device. It's not connected to online services, and its details aren't shared across devices. If you define what a standard account definition, it is a specific privilege level for a user account in Windows. It can either be a local or a Microsoft account. Regardless of whether it's a local or Microsoft account, a standard account has limited privileges compared to an administrative account. Standard accounts can use the computer and its software, but do not have the authority to make significant system changes or install certain applications without administrative approval. Let's see. Okay, local accounts are typically used for accessing and using local resources on a single computer. They do not rely on a Microsoft online services or require an internet connection to log in. Local accounts can have different privilege levels, including standard and administrative. An administrative local account has elevated privileges and can perform tasks that require administrative permissions on the computer, such as installing software or making system-level changes. The benefits of using a Microsoft account: if you use multiple Windows devices, such as I do, a Microsoft account offers synchronization features. That means my settings and wallpaper, browser favorites, and certain apps can be synchronized across devices. Microsoft accounts are closely tied to the Microsoft Cloud Storage Solution, OneDrive. Users can easily store and access files from any device. To download apps from the Windows Store, you'll need a Microsoft account. Microsoft accounts come with family safety features, allowing parents to monitor and control their child's computer usages. If you forget your password, recovery is often easier with a Microsoft account because you can reset it online. There are also benefits to using a local account. Since a local account isn't tied to online services, some users feel it offers more privacy. Local accounts are straightforward, especially for those who only use their computer for basic tasks and don't want or need additional services or synchronization. All account details are stored locally, so you don't need an internet connection to log in. A user with a local account will not have integrated access to Microsoft services such as OneDrive, the Windows Store, or any synchronization features. So why would you want to use a Microsoft account over a local account? Well, for the integrated experience, if you own multiple Windows devices, enjoy using Microsoft suites of services, and appreciate the convenience of synchronization, a Microsoft account is more suitable. For privacy and offline use, a local account. If you prioritize privacy, don't want to tie your login to Microsoft services, or you're using a device that will often be offline, a local account is a better choice. The question is whether a local account is more secure than a Microsoft account. And that's strictly not binary. The relative security of each type of account depends on various factors, including user behavior, the specific threats being considered, and the security features each account offers. There are pros and cons regarding both. The pros for the local account is local accounts are not connected to online services. There's no risk of remote account breaches due to compromised Microsoft online servers or cloud-based vulnerabilities. And since local accounts aren't tied to a bunch of online services, a breach to any one of those services won't compromise the security of the others. The cons are, if you forget your password to a local account, it's harder to recover than using a Microsoft account. This could be seen as a security pro since there are no online reset, but the average user, this might lead to loss of data accessibility. Users can rely solely on local accounts might miss out on some updates or features that Microsoft provides to Microsoft account users, potentially leading to security vulnerabilities if they aren't vigilant about manual updates. pros for the Microsoft account is that first, it supports two-factor authentication, which adds an extra layer of security. Even if your password is compromised, an attacker would need to access your secondary authentication method, such as your phone, to access your account. Microsoft accounts provide an activity log that you can receive alerts for suspicious activities. This helps in quickly identifying and reacting to unauthorized access. It's easier to recover a lost password with a Microsoft account since you can reset it online. Some cons are that Microsoft accounts can be targeted for phishing attacks because they provide access to various services such as OneDrive, Outlook, and Xbox. If the attacker gains access to your Microsoft account, they could potentially access a lot of data and services. You also are dependent on Microsoft security. While Microsoft has robust security measures in place, no system is impervious. If there's ever a breach of Microsoft on Microsoft's end, it could potentially affect Microsoft account users. To set up a Microsoft account with standard privileges involves two main steps: creating a Microsoft account if you haven't already, and then adding that account to a Windows PC with standard privileges. And here are the steps. If you don't already have a Microsoft account, you can visit the Microsoft account sign-up page, fill in the required information, follow the on-screen instructions, and then once created, you can use this account to sign into various Microsoft services. To add a Microsoft account to a Windows PC with standard privileges, you want to go to Settings. You want to click the Start menu, Windows at the bottom of the left corner of your screen. Click on Settings icon, and then navigate to Accounts. In the Settings window, click on Accounts, and then enter enter the email address of the Microsoft account you want to add. And if the child doesn't have an email address, Windows will allow you to create one on the fly. And then click Next to follow the on-screen instructions, and the person will receive an email invitation to join the service. One thing about, as a single user, to create a standard account, you have to have another account set up so that you can toggle between the two. Because if you, when you go here to select your new account, you'll notice that you can't change your account type because you have the only administrator account on this PC. You must make another user as administrator before you can change your account. And then at this point, you can change it. If you have two accounts, then you can change the one that you want to use as a standard here. You just by selecting standard. So once you've done that, you sign in with your Microsoft account, you log out and restart your PC. And at the login screen, you should see the newly added Microsoft account. Log in using the password associated with that account, and that's it. And you've now set up your account with standard privileges on a Windows PC. You have to remember that as a standard user, you need to perform, if you need to perform administrative tasks, you'll be prompted to enter credentials of an administrator account. So one of the things that I read here is that no one, even home users, should use administrator accounts for everyday computer use, such as web surfing, emailing, or office work. Instead, those tasks should be carried out by a standard user account. Administrative accounts should be used only to install or modify software and change system settings. And so back to my says, yes, you can create yourself a standard user, even if you are the only user. However, before enabling that, as I said before, you first need to create a new administrative account and then change your current account type to standard so you don't lose any user specific settings or programs. So the other question is using one PC with multiple Microsoft accounts, each with administrative privileges, can have both advantages and disadvantages. So here are some of the pros and cons. If you have one single PC and you have multiple users, everyone should have their own Microsoft account. With that, each user can have their own personalized settings, including desktop backgrounds, applications, preferences, and browser bookmarks. And that can help keep everyone's work environment tailored to their needs. User accounts with administrative privileges can install software and make system changes without affecting other users. This can be useful if the user has unique software requirements and preferences. In other words, even though you have to determine who you want in your group to have administrative privileges. So you could have two users with administrative privileges in that regard. So users should weigh the pros and cons and decide based on the use case, regardless of choice, what best security practices they have by using unique passwords, enable two-factor authentication when available, and be wary of phishing attempts and suspicious activity. And as I said, you can create yourself a standard user, even if you are the only user. Well, I'm having all kinds of difficulties here. So how I want to finish up is just offer this question, is that in today's world as a single user, is it still valid to say that no one, even home users, should use administrative accounts for everyday computer use, such as web surfing, emailing, and office work? Administrative accounts should be used only to install or modify software or to change system settings. To counter that, modern Windows operating systems have built-in security settings that handle specific security concerns, and that's the user access control, account control. And that's a feature that's designed to protect the operating system from unauthorized changes. So when changes to a system require administrative level permissions, the UAC notifies the user, giving you the opportunity to approve or deny the change. And one of the benefits of using the UIC is to improve your security of Windows devices by limiting the access that malicious code has to execute with administrative privileges. It also empowers you to make informed decisions about actions that may affect the stability and security of your device. So I'll stop sharing my screen. And I will try to clarify any of that that got muddled. I'm not sure why my PowerPoint kept jumping around, but that's
I
something
want you to know that, I'm going to give you a 2 thumbs up today, because 1 thumb for supporting what I've been saying for a couple of decades about using a standard user. And the other thumbs up, today I learned that a Windows account user could be a standard user. I always thought they were full admin, and I would always poo-poo that. So give you 2 thumbs today.
Well, thanks, John. I appreciate that. But just remember to make a single user, you have to have 2 accounts. One is a standard and one is your admin. So that would require you to use a different email address to set up that second account.
Mm-hmm. If you wanted that first administrator to be a Microsoft administrator. Yeah.
Exactly.
Good. All
exactly.
right. Over to Judy.
I have a storage sense question. Is it responsible for annoying messages wanting to remove infrequently used but useful apps?
No, I've never got a notification popping up in regard to that. I think Microsoft has been really diligent about not having unnecessary nags with their utilities, and that goes for if you are using Windows Defender or any of the other built-in products of Windows. It seems to be very benign. They do their job in the background, and only if something just really horrific happens will it pop up or notify you that something has gone awry. But Storage Sense will not nag you about running out of storage. I think Google Drive will, I've heard.
How can I tell what account I am logged into?
You can go and go to your start menu and then go about under system, I believe. Hold on, let me share. I can show you really quickly. So if you go here to that's PowerPoint. Yeah, PowerPoint. All right, when you go here to your start and you go to settings, and under your profile name, it will tell you that you're running as an administrator. And since I'm a single user, I'm always running as an administrator. I have never set up a standard account, mainly because I want to be able to share my account across devices. And so I'm almost compelled to be an administrator. But that's how you find out. It's under your profile where your picture, you may not have a picture, you just may have an initial. Just click on that and your accounts will come up. Or just click on accounts. It's the other way.
And because you have an email address, that lets you know that it's a Microsoft account?
Yes. It doesn't matter whether you can use any email. I could set up a standard another account using a Gmail address, and then designate that as my standard user and leave this one as administrator.
Dale, can a person with OneDrive click on a file too large to email and give me the link so I can download it?
Yes.
Is,
All they have to do is put it on OneDrive and then use the share function, and you can share a link. If they have a Microsoft account, you can share it directly.
is phone link reliant on or independent from OneDrive?
Sorry?
Is phone link reliant on or independent from OneDrive?
Oh, independent. It's a direct connection to your phone.
Okay. Does OneDrive update often, changing files like email, Quicken, or Outlook?
I'm not sure what they mean by that.
And she had to go to another meeting.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
ask her to clarify and then I'll send it to you, okay?
Yeah, I'm just not sure.
A comment from Carol on admin versus local accounts. If you're primarily using a local account, you should occasionally log into administrative account, especially after a significant Windows update. Thank you for that. I have no more questions in the chat box. John, we're up for grabs for questions from anybody about anything, so to speak.
Just remember to hit your raise your hand so that we can find you to call on you, such as Jerry Crow raised his hand. He's there. Go ahead, Jerry.
Thank you. Good morning. Excellent presentations as always. I love this group. And I love all the work that you volunteers do to bring us all this interesting information. The app called Phone Link was mentioned. I'd love to see a presentation on that. I tried to establish it. I hate texting and all kinds of things that involve having to use the actual phone to enter data. And then I discovered Phone Link and it found out that I can somehow get my phone and I can enter all that stuff on my computer, but my keyboard, but I could never get it to work. I could never get it to link up. And I'm a reasonably knowledgeable user. So anyway, just FYI, again, thanks for all the great presentations. And speaking of Storage Sense, I never turned it on. Bill makes a good point, but or whoever it was that talked about that. But I back up once a week and I run CCleaner before I do my backups to get rid of all the junk. So plus CCleaner has a lot of other, as Bill pointed out, a lot of other useful item features. So thank you all.
Joe, you remembered your question. Cool. Most people don't come back and ask.
Yes, I've been mulling it over, and if I get wordy, just cut me off. TurboTax. We're gonna get ready to the tax season. I download TurboTax. The question is about OneDrive. When I load the software, it comes up and it says, "Oh, we found last year's file, and we're going to automatically load it, and we're going to go on from there." So how I have OneDrive set up, I'm not sure how TurboTax is looking to find out where last year's file was. I thought most applications would pretty much only go to your documents file, and OneDrive would control accessibility between documents and personal. But now I'm not sure because I thought I heard you can actually put something that you only access from OneDrive in the cloud. Does any of that make any sense?
I think. Are you using Windows 11?
Well, I just bought a computer about a month ago that had Windows 11, and the older computer still has Windows 10. And I ran into all these problems that OneDrive just took off and it's doing this stuff, and I'm running out, but I'm just thinking down the road. And the other issue I have is I back up files to a flash drive just on my own. Now I want to stick that flash drive in my new computer and it has my working files. So I'm thinking I'm going to the desktop documents folder, not the desktop personal something else folder. I think.
If in Windows 11, if you did not turn off the OneDrive automatic backup, it's probably already backed up, so to speak, your documents folder, because that's one of the ones that automatically does.
Okay.
And the difficulty I've run into, again, is the reason I turn it off, is it confuses people when they're looking for the documents folder that's actually on their hard drive versus the one that's in the cloud.
Yes.
So one thing I will say about tax programs and financial programs, I use Quicken, and I keep my data files actually kept on OneDrive instead of locally. So basically it's always secure. But yes, I would make sure you turn off the backup and then determine what documents, files, and folders you might need to move back to your local machine to hopefully eliminate the confusion.
Okay, if I go to File Explorer, just real quick, the documents folder that's on my computer is under desktop documents. Is that correct?
It should be under the area in Windows 11 below.
Yes.
It's got those routine folders: desktop, downloads, documents, pictures, music, so on and so forth. What I have found, in fact, I'm looking at mine right now, I have 2 desktop folders in that area. One is actually the desktop folder that Windows 11's OneDrive automatically backed up before I turned it off.
Okay.
So yeah, it's confusing because of the way they mix nomenclature. I wish there was a better way.
Right.
But I would, look and see what is in each folder. Make sure you do a head-to-head comparison before you turn the backup off, and then do a head-to-head comparison to see what's now cloud only versus local.
Okay.
They made it more confusing, I think.
They did. It's kind of overwhelming to just turn the computer on the first time and see that. And thank you very much for all the info.
No problem.
Okay.
And Jerry, you're on.
There it is. Yeah, I really appreciate you guys talking about this stuff. I've gotten to the point where I just use what I need and learn what I need, but I didn't know anything about the storage sense. I've been using System Mechanic for probably 15, 20 years for doing the same type of thing. And I just turned it on. I'm going to leave it on and see if theoretically, if it works, System Mechanic shouldn't have to do anything. It does some other things with tweaking parameters, I guess, as far as speed, but I'm not sure it's doing much for me anymore, especially if I have something that cleans up my storage. Does that sound about right? Anybody who...
I would say true. Remember I mentioned something about storage optimization software, and so System Mechanic or PC Mechanic falls in that category. But you'll find that your storage sense will run in the background, and it will do a lot of the things that you probably need done without your intervention. But you can always go in and look at it by going to storage and just taking a look at what's actually taking place. And you can see also what programs are or other things that are using storage space that you might want to address. So I think you'll be fine with it by turning it on. It's not intrusive at all. You won't even know it's running, actually.
Yeah, what I found with System Mechanic is it gives me a nice user interface into the internals. Startups and all that stuff. It's all in one package rather than hunting around in Windows and find out where they stuck it in this version of Windows.
I understand.
And so I've kind of stuck with that. But I think I'll turn Storage Sense on. I'll let you know in 6 months if it's taking care of my problems, because theoretically then System Mechanic shouldn't be doing much with my storage if it's taking care of it. So right now, about every month, it reminds me that, by the way, you have a bunch of junk files you need to get rid of, and it does its thing and gets rid of them for me.
Yeah, you won't have that happening with Storage Sense. But one thing you want to look at carefully is your download folder. If you don't want that touch, you will want to change that to never. Also, how frequently you want your temporary files deleted. Make sure you address that area as well.
Yeah, if I every once in a while, well, not every once in a while, I have a tendency to download something and say, boy, that looks interesting. And 3 weeks later, I say, yeah, what was that again? Yes, obviously it wasn't that interesting. So we'll just let it delete those things.
Well, I think there was a question earlier about files from the internet or to that effect, but when you download something from, I think everybody is aware that when you download something from the internet, it's going to end up in your downloads folder. And so if you want to keep that, those files, or because that's where your executable will be, you might not want your download folder to be emptied as frequently as some of your other folders.
Yeah, what I do with that primarily is the biggest thing there is when I download new versions of software like CorelDRAW or something like that. And then I immediately will take it out of the download folder and put it someplace, in a standard folder, so that if I have to reinstall it, or even if I have to install it on another system, I have it there. So.
One of my members swears by System Mechanic. He has used it for 1,000 years, and it does much more than Storage Sense does. So it's just not a cleanup program. It's like I said, it's pricey. It's also pricey. But we had a head-to-head CCleaner. One of the members did a presentation on CCleaner Pro, so to speak, versus System Mechanic, so we could see exactly what happened. And we all voted for CCleaner because with System Mechanic, there were too many steps that you had to take. You had to click here, then you had to go here and click there. But he absolutely loves it. And I know people who use it thinks it walks on water. Gary Odie, you're on.
Yes, hi. Got a question concerning Macrium Reflect backup program. I'm planning to upgrade my 500 gig SSD to a 1 terabyte SSD. And if I boot up my Windows PC, I have a choice. A little blue screen comes up, choose an operating system, and one is Windows 10, which after a few seconds, it'll automatically go there. But I also have the choice to go into the Macrium Reflect System Recovery. Great, it comes up. Now, if I'm planning on just transferring everything from my old C drive to my new C drive, it gives me two choices. One is restore, and the other says redeploy to new hardware. What is the difference between doing a restore from an old C drive to a new one versus redeploy to new hardware? Nope.
I know what restore is, but I'm not sure what the redeploy is. I would use restore, I think, if I was doing it.
So even if it's new hardware, just a simple restore would put everything from the old C to the new SSD.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, thank you.
Murray,
Just on that last comment, I would say yes, do the restore, but then if that doesn't work, then try the redeploy. So you can always start over again if it doesn't work properly. I also wanted to, in case it hadn't been mentioned when Judy mentioned our clone, if it hasn't been mentioned, it is completely free, open source. So you don't have to pay anything for it.
Yep. Lloyd Lindsay, your turn.
Okay, the question I asked before was whether Windows 11 has the libraries function. And they weren't clear about it, but it does exist in Windows 11. And it's a very powerful feature. A lot of people aren't even aware of it. And the Windows 11, the Windows 10 version, when you initially install it, it doesn't show up. It's not that it's hidden even. It's just not visually, you can't visually see it. And the same occurs for Windows 10. So a lot of people, when they don't even see it, they don't know it exists. But it's a very, very powerful feature. If you'd like me to spend a couple minutes explaining the feature, that's fine. But if you don't, that's fine too. I don't care.
Thank you. Mr. Bob, you are on, and you're going to talk about two different things after you unmute yourself.
Macrium Reflect, restore or new hardware. If your hard drive, the new one, is the same size as the one that you currently use, then it would be a restore. If the size of the new hard drive is greater than the one that you currently have, you want to use the other one because it will not shrink your hard drive to the amount of data that you had on your old computer. So if you had a 5 terabyte, you're now going to half a terabyte, and you're now going to a full terabyte. You don't want to wind up where you only have access to half your hard drive. So that would be allocating it for new hardware. It would then give you the information that was on your old hard drive, but it would not shrink the hard drive.
Interesting. Yeah, thank you. That makes sense. Thank you.
Any other comments, Bob?
Unfortunately, I was missing for part of it. It was lunchtime.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't had breakfast yet. What can I tell you? Greg, you're on.
Yeah, on the comments about the restore and move to a new computer, the biggest thing I can remember about that is hidden files. Windows doesn't save everything or won't restore everything. So moving to a new computer would have to do that. So,
Thank you. Richard?
Yes, I'd love Lloyd Lindsay to give us a quick rundown on the libraries function. That's something that's been mystifying me.
Lloyd, unmute yourself, please. And speak up loudly.
Okay, I can explain it to you using Windows 10, but then I'll tell you what happens in Windows 11 how you access it. There are a number of things, and it's very, very powerful. One of the reasons why I use it is that I use certain business type programs like tax programs, and they want to save information in certain areas on your hard drive. And that may not be where you want it saved. And also, you can save it on another computer as hard drive if it's connected to you. The best thing to do is just show it to you. So can I share my screen?
Yes. John, I'll
Okay.
let you.
You tell me when I can do it. Can I do it now? Nope.
Yeah, you can.
Now I can. Okay, so let me just first of all just take this down a little bit. Woo. Okay. Okay. I'm just trying to. Yeah, almost. I'm just trying to, okay, just hold on a second. I know the other way, the view. I can do it this way. Speaker, exit full screen. That's what I want. Okay, now let me just see if I can get down lower. Okay, can you see this? My screen now?
No.
No, you're not sharing.
Okay, so let me just go back here to Zoom. And we'll go here. Sorry about that. Oh, now I got it. Okay, okay, now I got the controls for sharing. Okay, wonderful. Okay, now you can see this, right?
Yes.
Okay. Over here, like I've just put the icon here for the libraries, but it's like one master. It's actually, you know, in your file explorer. So let me just go here. Now, this is what I've got. These are the cute little icons that they produce. So I have all of these numbers here. They represent a year for a certain tax return. So I don't know where the PDF files that they create are stored, but I can go here and I don't care because I've pre-done it so that I can immediately take a look at all of these clients. I've got their printouts in the form of PDF immediately. So if somebody were to ask me, I don't have to, you know, what happened on this particular tax return? I can immediately go to the schedule here. I could open it up right from here and away I go. I don't know and I don't care where the tax return program stores it. They have their own special storage space where they want it. As long as I got this directory, and this is actually the directory of where you go. So it goes here to the 219 data file that's produced by the program. And that's the end of it. Now, there's other things too. I'm not going to show it to you too much, but I'm going to show you this here. When I go back here, I have stuff here that are produced by various things, but I even have, for example, my own personal stuff. And if I put it here, all the directories that other programs make, I've got them listed in certain ways. I can see it instantly. It's all there in front of me. I don't care what program created the file. It's there. And so I have things like, I'll give you this, something personal. Age-proof your home, certain articles that refer to fixing your home, eaves troughs and downspouts, furnace, weeds. So I've got it there. When I want certain other things, well, you can do many other things with it, but the beauty of this is you can even bring in a directory, and while you're looking here, you could have a directory looking at it at another computer or else in your OneDrive. So in OneDrive, I could access a OneDrive right here on a specific topic that I would want under my personal stuff. And the basic is that you gather it together and you can do an awful lot of wonderful things with it. Again, you're taking directories and you're adding directories here. Here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 specific directories with all of this stuff in here, and it's instant. And it's pretty good. It's pretty powerful. Now, one other thing I'll do, now I'll show you this. In Windows 11, oh, I won't bother with Windows 10, how you access it, but it's just a little bit different to do it. And this is the key right here. Let me just highlight this. Can you see that where it says see more? That's the difference in Windows 11. You've got a see more button. You go in File Explorer to view the Windows library, and you go to see more, and then you got the button and you just tick it and away you go.
Cool. Thank you so much. Bob, a comment, and then it's my turn. Unmute, please.
If I can also share my screen, I'll show you the default in Windows 11 for the libraries, which shows up directly in your Explorer when you open up Explorer.
Mr. Kennedy will let you know when you can share.
Oh, he already could if he had hit click share.
Oh, don't forget me.
Okay, this is by default. I just opened up Explorer and you'll see libraries is here. And when you click on it, these are the default folders set up in libraries. Camera roll, which is all the photos that it saves. It has your documents, your music, your pictures, your saved pictures, and your videos. But this is just a folder. You can add additional folders. So if you want something to come up each time you go into the libraries, in this case, camera roll, which is all the pictures that are saved from all over the darn place, but that's also why it took a while. But libraries itself has these default folders, and do a right click and you can open up a new folder. So if you have something that you want to show up anytime you hit the libraries function, this is where you would put it. But these are the default folders automatically set up in Windows 11 in the libraries folder.
Cool, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Upcoming events, this is for 2024. September is Disaster Preparedness Month. Next year, you might want to think about having somebody from your city come and talk about it, or putting a presentation together for your members with a senior point of view. Our local community education for the hospital has a presentation about preparedness for seniors, and it is an excellent presentation. Tomorrow is our Need to Rethink Fraud in America, presented by AARP. It's in conjunction with cybersecurity awareness and Stay Safe Online. And the AARP presentations are quite good. I've attended a couple of recently, and the presenters have great information. They are very good presenters. So that might be something that you want to get the information coming into your inbox so you can let your members know about it. Or, you know, if they happen to be presenting when it's your meeting time, you could, you know, use it as a presentation. September 27th, a week from today, it's going to be all about Apple. We will have 3 presentations about different things regarding Apple products. And next month, I hope you have all planned some kind of cybersecurity awareness presentation. I sent out an email last night to all of the officers in our membership database, letting all the groups know how to become a champion, where to find information they can use for publicity. They have a presentation that somebody in your group, or better yet, you can get in touch with me, Jay Talor, at apcug.org, and schedule Bob G for his A to Z 2023 cybersecurity presentation. Next month on November 4, or month after next, that's our annual meeting. And it's also our Saturday safari. So we will, as usual, have 2 workshops, and then we will have our annual meeting. And at that time, everybody will be able to find out who the winners are of the digital photo contest. We had well over 125 entrants. And I particularly like the photos that make you smile, because I looked at each one of those, and so many you just grin from ear to ear when you are looking at it. We have many talented amateur photographers out there. And if you didn't get it this year, we'll be having it again in 2025. Over to you, John, to walk us off.
Another great presentations, a week late, but we still have one more to go. We'll be back next week with all about Apple. So everything's going to be discussing the Apple. So watch your registrations and join for that. We also are looking for other people. If you have a security presentation that you do, we could add that to next month's list of workshops. And if you have anything else related to other topics, I would like somebody to do a topic on the authentication apps and the authenticated USB thingies that you're supposed to use, because, that's the coming new thing. So if you have any kind of workshops, and I just did a big comment to my group that we have problems with people who won't do a presentation when they've already done it for their local group. And I don't understand why. If you've already done it once and all the work is done, share it with the hundreds of other people out here. So we're always looking for ideas, and we're always looking for presenters. So please take part. You do not have to be an expert. No one is going to sit here and say, well, not a very good presenter, or oh, not a very good presentation. We're all looking for learning new things, and we're all members helping members, not experts helping dimwits,
And to piggyback on John's comment, he at the last moment had to give a presentation to his group and was asked, would you give one? And he said, sure, because he had already put it together. It's on his Speakers Bureau listing, and he had given it to another group the beginning of the month. So why not? If you have done that, like he said, and you've given a presentation to your group, think of us, please. Well, think of me. If it's Linux, think of John. If it's Tuesday or, the second Wednesday or the fourth Wednesday, think of me, and get in touch, because I noticed that groups have members who give fantastic presentations. And like I said, John just said, sure, got one in the can, ready to go. And he had just a couple of days notice. Okay.
We'll even give you more than a couple of days.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you've had a great summer, because as the calendar says, we are coming to the official end of summer and the start of fall. So hope everybody has a great rest of September, and we'll see you next week. Thanks everybody for attending, and we'll get Judy out to get her breakfast real soon.
Yeah, I have to go